Well, here we are, the penultimate episode of The Last of Us. And as I predicted, this episode was 99.9% Joel and Ellie flashback. And it worked. It was, in my opinion, the best episode of the season and a return to form of The Last of Us from season 1. Why? Because they brought back the heart of the show, that relationship between Joel and Ellie. The episode opens with a flashback to 1983, where a young Joel defends his brother Tommy from the anticipated wrath of their law enforcement father. But instead of getting angry that Tommy was trying to buy weed, Papa Miller tells Joel that he's a better father than his old man, and that he hopes one day Joel will be a better dad than he was. Then we jump back to Jackson, where the episode shows us several of Ellie's birthdays and how Joel tries to be that better dad, going great lengths to make them memorable. He trades Legos to Seth for cake. He takes Ellie to a natural history museum and procures for her audio of the space launch. This scene was taken almost word for word from the game, and it works so well. But we also see the seeds of tension being planted and growing. Ellie looks at something in the trees on her way back from the museum. Won't lie, it took my old eyes a couple of rewinds to figure out she saw fireflies. Later on, Joel walks in on Ellie with Kat, her first girlfriend and erstwhile tattoo artist. They fight, and Ellie tries to move out. Ellie also starts to confront her growing suspicions that Joel lied about what happened in Salt Lake City. She has questions and, rightly so, wants answers.
Swear to me that everything you said about the fireflies is true.
I swear.
And then we get to see what really happens with Eugene in a brilliant guest performance by Joe Pantoliano of The Sopranos. Joel and Ellie, out on their first patrol together on Ellie's 19th birthday, no less, go to rescue Eugene and another Jacksoner from a horde of infected. But they get there too late, and Eugene was bitten. Joel, per the rules of Jackson, wants to shoot Eugene on sight. Eugene begs to see his wife, Catherine O'Hara's Gail, one last time. Ellie tests Eugene and tells Joel they've got time, and she pushes to grant his request to see his wife. Joel lies to her again, telling Ellie to go get the horses and they will tie up Eugene and take him back to Jackson for his final goodbyes. Instead, Joel takes Eugene to a scenic overlook and shoots him in the head. And then Joel lies again to Gail. And Ellie loses it. This scene was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic acting, fantastic plotting, and back to the form of season 1. And by the way, Catherine fucking O'Hara, ladies and gentlemen, what a legend. As I said in previous videos, this is what season 2 should have been from beginning to end. It would have been a much better season had the majority of episodes been what we saw this week. Joel and Ellie spending time in Jackson, living together as father and daughter, celebrating birthdays, teaching Ellie to swim, teaching her to play guitar, doing patrols. The conflicts you come into in a world of scarce resources where infected are always a threat. Throughout those episodes, they could have built that slow tension of Ellie starting to doubt Joel, doubt his story about what happened in Salt Lake City, and doubt that she can trust Joel. Ellie can start to question her purpose in this world as she sees people in Jackson that they love get hurt and die, and build up until those tensions boil over like they did in this episode. Sadly, we don't get that season. What we do get, however, in this episode is really well done. After the tensions boil over, after the dust up with Gail, we rewind to that New Year's Eve we saw earlier in the season, and the dust up Ellie and Dina have with Seth. In an episode following Joel's death, we also see Ellie tell Gail about that night on New Year's Eve when she came home and saw Joel sitting on the porch. Ellie lies to Gail and tells her she didn't speak to Joel that night, but she did. And this is the best scene in the episode. They take most of it exactly as it was written in the game, but what they add is incredibly important and incredibly well done. It elevated this scene and this episode to another level, and gosh darn it, for all of his problems, Pedro Pascal absolutely nails it. Joel tells Ellie he loves her, something always implied but never spoken in the game.
I would do it all over again.
Because you're selfish.
Because I love you.
And he calls back to his childhood when he tells Ellie he hopes she is one day a better parent than he is. And then it leaves off where the game did. Ellie telling Joel she wants to work on forgiving him. But she never gets to. Because that next day, as we all know, Abby kills Joel. And I won't lie, I'm not made of stone. That scene made me cry a little bit. The episode ends on a very dark, rainy Seattle night, and all we see is Ellie heading back to their theater base. Seriously, guys who make shows, producers, directors, set designers, stop making shows so dark. I had to rewind because I had no idea what was going on, and the scene lasts maybe 10 seconds. I know exactly what Ellie's going to find when she returns to that theater and how it's going to set up the intro into season 3. And I will tell you right now, fans aren't going to like it. With one episode to go, I wonder what fans are going to do as the finale approaches. This show, this episode, brought back its best character and created something that rivals anything from the last season. It took the things the game did well and elevated them, and it shows. Currently, this episode has the second highest rating of the season on IMDb, although the Rotten Tomatoes score is still not good. Other reviewers praised this show as well. I don't know if that's enough to bring fans back for the finale, but it certainly seems that they hit a chord with this show that they haven't in the rest of this season. Before I go, here's my prediction for the finale. We will see Abby again, because she's figured out Ellie is the one who's been killing her friends, and she finds Ellie's hideout. As in the game, Abby kills Jesse, seriously wounds Tommy, and we are left waiting until 2026 or maybe early 2027 to see this entire story again from Abby's perspective. I don't know how well that'll do, or if fans will stick around another 18 plus months to see the rest of this unfold, but I guess we'll find out. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to share this video and click like and hit that subscribe button. I'll be back next week for the season 2 finale. And until then, take care of yourselves.